send them that one, the handouts that I sent to you all. If you didn't, that's okay, because I just need everybody to grab some paper and a pencil or a pen, eyeliner, spray paint can, some shoe shine, anything that you can write with, because I want to make sure that we are all on point today. So by show of hands, how many of you all are sports fans? Just by a show of hands, sports fans. Te gusta el deporte? Shorts. Let me see some hands if you are. Okay, there we go. All right. So I see some sport fans in the building. Well, let me tell you what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about positive parenting. We're going to talk about slam dunk parenting. And what does it mean to slam dunk? We're going to talk about what that means. But I got a couple of things I'm going to give you all. So you all need to be aware and pay attention. Here's the first thing. This is Black History Month. If you don't know, it is Black History Month all over the world. And so I brought a group of young people here who I met 3 years ago, who are going to talk to you about Black History Month, because I couldn't afford to fly them out here in Maryland to come hang out with us. But I want you to listen to these young people as they talk about Black History Month.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Black excellence is an all-time high. With me to talk about it is Carly Sanders, April Ryan, Ramon Sanders, and Angela Rapp. Angela, all-time high.
Of course it's at an all-time high. Black folks consistently go high.
Give me some examples.
John, we don't have enough time. Serena Williams won the Australian Open.
Wow, she was 8 weeks pregnant.
And don't forget, Black women saved Alabama.
98%. And Uber shut off the boat.
We got Issa, Ava, Lena, Oprah, and so many more.
Yes.
You got some Black man magic too. Dapper Dan, a trailblazer
Okay, Betty.
officially partnered with Gucci and opened up a Gucci store in Harlem. Rich Dennis, the brothers sold Shea Moisture, then made sure they established a fund to support Black women. Then bought Essence magazine, making it 100% Black owned again.
We have made history in elections in Alabama, Virginia, and North Carolina.
Atlanta got a man named Keisha.
Hey, Keisha.
Oh, Angela. Don't forget, we have the Black Panther movie coming out on February 16th, and it's already breaking records with pre-sales. And we have Ava's A Wrinkle in Time coming out on March 9th.
Wait, did we forget to talk about how Hidden Figures, Girls Trip, and Get Out shattered records? Listen, Black folks have always been dope and always will be dope.
Ain't nothing fake about that news. They have it. Black excellence have an all-time high. Happy Black History Month.
Let's give it up for those kids. Let's give it up for those young people celebrating Black History Month. So now I have a question for you all. And so I'm going to give you all probably 2 minutes to figure this out. Now, you can go anywhere to figure this out. This is a Black History quiz. And the person that answers the question is going to get a copy of my book called What I Learned in the Midst of Chaos, The Making of an Ubuntu Teacher. So here we go. So you got about 2 minutes to figure this out. Why is Black History Month celebrated in February? Why is Black History Month celebrated in February? 2 minutes to go. You got to figure this out. You can go anywhere to find it out. Why is it celebrated in February? Anybody? 2 minutes. 2 minutos. Dale duro. Let's go for it. 2 minutes. Why is Black History Month celebrated in February? And if you know the answer, then what you can do, you can put it in the chat. You can let us know in the chat. Why is it celebrated? Anybody?
We may need to ask them in Spanish.
So, el mes de la historia de los negros de los Estados Unidos. ¿Por qué está en febrero? ¿Por qué? Why in February? Anybody know? not an easy question, but
Have a
good.
response in the chat.
Oh, I didn't even see the chat. I'm sorry.
I'll
Yes,
read
I
it
got.
to you.
Okay, all right. There we go. There we go. There
This
we go. There
week
we go.
was chosen because, oh, you got it?
All right, all right. This week was chosen because it coincided with birthday of Abraham Lincoln and un otra persona también. There's another person, so it's Abraham Lincoln, but also another person. Abraham Lincoln. Y esta persona nacía en el estado de Maryland. This person was born in Maryland. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Bravo. So we have Lydia Pineda. So Sharon, I need Lydia. I'll send you all a copy of the book, or you could actually send your mailing address to Betty. So Lydia, bravo. You actually want a copy of my book, When I Was Born, What I Learned in the Midst of Chaos, The Making of an Ubuntu Teacher. Good job, good job, good job. So now let's get this party started. One of the things I like to start out with always is I like to sort of set the family, okay. I like to sort of set the foundation for our work. If you have a busy schedule, just raise your hand if you have a busy schedule. So most of us have a very, very busy schedule. And one of the things that I typically do with my busy schedule is I practice something called mindfulness and meditation, because we all have these busy schedules. And people are constantly asking me, what do you do to relax? What do you do to be calm? What do you do when you're searching for a little bit of tranquilo? What do you typically do? And so what I want to do is I want to introduce to you all what we call mindfulness and meditation. So what you want to do is you want to sort of sit up in your seats. All right. You want to close your eyes. Cierres los ojos, por favor. Abre la boca, poquito. Open your mouth just a little. Close your eyes, and we're going to focus on our breathing. There we go. I'm looking at the faces. There we go. And so we're going to do a little meditation and mindfulness before we get started. And our hands are on our laps, and our eyes are closed. And we're going to focus on our breath. So as we inhale, and then we exhale. Inhale, and then exhale. Our face is soft, everything around us is soft. So we're breathing in deeply, exhaling, inhaling, and then exhaling. Slow breaths. Our face is soft, our eyes are soft, everything is soft. So as we prepare for the work to talk about slam dunk parenting, how do we become a great parent? I'm gonna take a couple of more minutes. Inhale, and then exhale. You can have a lot of thoughts. Don't hold on to the thoughts, let them pass. Yes. Falta 1 more minute left. Seconds. Seconds. And come back. Abre los ojos, por favor. Open your eyes. So one of the reasons that I start out all of my work with mindfulness and meditation is because we have such busy lives, and every parent I work with, they're looking for some strategies on how do they balance their life out with their children. And what I'm showing you right now are 3 apps that you can use on your phone that you can find. Calm is an app, 10% Happier is an app, and Headspace is an app. These can be used on your phone. They can be used in any way to really, really help you deal with the stress that we all deal with as a parent. And so one of the things that we're going to do today is talk about how do we provide some strategies so we don't sort of lose it when we're working with our children. We know that we're in a pandemic. We know that we are dealing with COVID, and we know that our children have a lot of questions.
Cute.
And so one of the things that we typically do is we want to talk about how do we engage them during the time of COVID, in school, at home, with their friends, with their thoughts, with anybody that they're actually hanging out with. How do they do that? And then what I want to do is give you all some very specific strategies that you can then use when you are engaging your children, and also when you're engaging your parent, when you're also engaging the school. This is a very, very rough time right now in our country and in the world. And so what I want to do today is give you some of those tips that then you can actually use and then to carry on with your children and sort of with yourself.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Yeah.
We have a few parents in the chat. They asked if you can say it in Spanish, or if you need me to help you with that.
So I think what would be easier, because Senora Camacho, if I'd have known ahead of time, I would have gone back and forth even with some of my slides, because sometimes it's hard to translate some of the stuff from English to Spanish and Spanish to English. So if you want to sort of balance it out, every now and then I will go in and out, but I can pause and allow you to sort of translate some of the things I'm actually going through. Because I would have actually put some of these into Spanish, because going back and forth, me trying to keep a pace but going back and forth can be somewhat challenging. So what I want to invite you to, if you want me to pause and you just sort of repeat some of the things, and then I'll come back, and then some of the things I also repeat in Spanish, if that works for you as well. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem.
Okay. And so what I can do, let me just tell you this, I can actually give you these slides. So I can give you the slide deck in Spanish. I can just come back and then give you the slide deck in Spanish, because I do want them to have the information that's here, if that makes sense for you.
Yeah, that's fine. That works.
Okay. All right. Because again, if ahead of time, I would have definitely, gone back and forth with those things. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So what I want to do is I want to allow you guys to, one is introduce yourself as a parent. So mi nombre es, mi hija o mi hijo son. If you just want to introduce yourself and really talk about your children. Por por ejemplo, yo soy me llamo Lamar Shields. Yo tengo tres hijos. Ella se llama Samira, Mosiah, Sekul, and Hadia. And in COVID, I'm learning so much about myself in this process. So what I want them to do is probably just introduce themselves about some of the things, who their children are, and maybe some of the challenges that they're having as a parent during COVID, if that makes sense. Did you hear me, Sharon?
Yeah, so él quiere saber sus nombres, algo que ustedes agradecen, que han aprendido desde el empiezo de COVID, y cuál es su momento más feliz de ser madre, padre o guardia, y la parte más difícil, que usted quiere que sus estudiantes sepan. Y también puedo escribirlo en el chat.
Yes. All right, let me. Okay. All right.
So, hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Mm-hmm. Who is that wants to?
Okay. So I actually am not a parent. I'm one of the staff members.
Okay.
But I work closely with a number of the parents. I'm excited to be here to be able to share that information with them. But I know recently, I've gotten a number of phone calls from parents who have just expressed just their students are not motivated to be engaged in learning or to be engaged, at all. And I know it's been like a difficult transition, but a lot of the parents have been calling the school or, calling and talking to us as staff members about how to support their student when they're not motivated to be engaged. And, just what that looks like when every family member is really kind of suffering and experiencing, being stuck in quarantine.
What are some of the strategies that you all have been providing with some of the parents and some of the teachers?
Well, we've just kind of provided like different activities that they can do as a family, looking at ways to have discussions around what's happening right now, identifying, like just the triggers that are leading them there, some simple and small things that they can do that can help boost their mood and make a difference as it relates to like students being engaged and like the length of time that they're engaged. So we've been kind of, just trying to do some of those things or encouraging them in that capacity. So that's why I was like, I'm excited to be on here to really hear some of the strategies that you would share as well.
Okay. Thank you, Gracias. All right. Thank you. Anybody? No, I think some people are writing in the chat as well. Okay, thank you. What do you actually do at the school? And I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Miss Holmes, I'm one of the counselors.
Okay, Miss Holmes, one of the counselors. Thank you, Miss Holmes, one of the counselors.
You're welcome.
All right. Anybody else want to share? Puedes escribir en el chat también.
¿Alguien más quiere compartir? Y también si no se siente cómodo lo pueden poner en el chat. We did have someone that said, my name is Marlene.
I saw that. Marlene, everything as her mother is okay. Best effort is to want to my children to be special. Okay, all right. All righty. Okay, all right. So one of the things, so this is what we'll do, Sharon. I'm gonna talk slower in English, and then I'm just gonna let you translate for me because I also want to be mindful of the people who are the English speakers as well.
Sure.
And then we'll do it that way because I can go back and forth, but I think it'd be easy if I just sort of just slow it down and then you can just translate the things that I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, there we go. All right, so we're about to work this thing out. So we all are dealing with this pandemic in our own way. And I want to just sort of introduce my story of my kids. So I have 3 children. And all of my children are in various ages. I have a son who's an 8th grader. I have a daughter who's a sophomore, a junior, and I have a daughter who is a sophomore in college.
Ok, él dice que pasando por la pandemia es diferente a todos. Quiere decirle la historia de él. Él es padre y tiene 3 niños, uno que está en 8º grado, como muchos de sus estudiantes, uno que es un junior que está en el 11 grado y también uno que está en la universidad.
And so every day, my children and I come together and we have a conversation about school, about COVID, and about how best to support them in their effort.
También tenemos conversaciones como yo lo puedo apoyar a ellos y también en sus academias.
And one of the things that I discovered with my children, just like you, we want the best for our kids. Even though I get a chance to speak all over the country, working with parents, I want the best for my children, just like you want the best for your kids.
Y como ustedes, yo quiero lo mejor para mis hijos, como ustedes quieren para los hijos de ustedes.
And one of the things that happened with my children got a chance to hang with El Presidente de Barack Obama. When you look at this image, this is my son. It's mi hijo, se llama Mosiah Sekou. And you also have my daughter in the back. I'm sharing this image with you because I have to constantly remind my children of how great they are. And as parents, we want to all do the same thing.
Él dice aquí en esta foto, usted ve el hijo de él que conoció al presidente Barack Obama y también tiene su hija ahí. And can you repeat the last thing, Dr. Shields?
We all want the best for our children.
Quieren lo mejor para sus estudiantes.
And so I'm looking at Lynette, I'm looking at Ms. Vasquez, and she's talking about that she's grateful for God, for her children, to give her the best. Her children are 7 and 13 years old. COVID has taught her quite a lot. So we all want the same thing for our children. We all want the best for our children. However, many of us just don't have the strategies to provide them with the best. So it's my hope today that I can provide you with some of those strategies that work with my kids and all the other parents that I work with across the country.
Él dice que nosotros todos queremos lo mejor para nuestros estudiantes, pero también a veces no tenemos todas las tragedias. So aquí en esta presentación yo le voy a hablar un poquito sobre eso y cómo podemos tener nuevas estrategias.
Bingo. So one of the things I do, me gusta basketball mucho. I love basketball a lot. And a lot of times I like to compare basketball with parenting. And all of us know when you look at this, it says, your kid's success or lack of success in sports does not indicate what kind of parent you are, but having an athlete that is coachable. The question is, we want to become the best coaches for our children. So what does that actually mean? Go ahead, Sharon.
Él dice que él le encanta el deporte que se llama basketball. Él dice que el deporte de basketball es comparado un poquito como a ser padre. Él dice que el juego de basketball, you repeat it, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm listening to you and I'm reading in the chat. So I'm also looking at my name is Rosario Hernandez. She's talking about her mom. She's the parent of Hernandez and William Hernandez, Edwin Hernandez, and she's just grateful. She's learning a lot about herself during COVID. All of us want the exact same thing. And so as I want you guys to imagine that you are a coach. And one of the most amazing things in basketball is the slam dunk of basketball. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how slam dunking a basketball is very, very connected to being an amazing parent.
So él dice que quiere que ustedes que piensen que sean como un entrenador de basketball. Lo mejor en basketball es hacer algo que se llama un slam dunk. So ahora vamos a ver cómo eso se aplica.
So let's take a look. So now we're going to take a look at some slam dunks that exist.
Vamos a ver unas slam dunks que existen.
Well, the crowd lets you know what they think of it. Now we will wait for the judges. A big important score. 50. They gave it a 50. They gave Jordan a 50. He defends his championship. All right, here is Vince Carter with his first shot. Let's go home. Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home. Hey, that is a reverse 360 going against the grain. That is unbelievable. This building just exploded.
No, that might be Elmer Payton in that mascot.
Oh my God. Let's go home. Let's go home. Let's go home. Let's go home.
Somebody say bravo, 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 bravo. As I looked at many of your faces, as you talk about what did you notice about these guys that they went really, really high? What did you notice about their guys? They were trainable. What did you notice about the crowd? There was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of excitement. And I looked at many of your faces on the screen and I noticed the excitement. That's what great parenting is. That's what being a parent is that you have the teachers at your school, you have the principal all cheering you on together for you to be the best parent. Sharon?
Él dice que mirando el video, ustedes notaron que a los muchachos que estaban haciendo el slam dunk, él vio la cara de ustedes que se vieron que estaban muy, muy felices y que le estaban aplaudiendo. Así estamos aquí en la escuela, los maestros, los directores apoyando a ustedes, que es como el slam dunk es como criando su estudiante, su hijo.
Mm-hmm. So as we think about what we saw, I want you to be mindful that our kids are constantly watching us nonstop on a daily basis. As I look at the chats in here, as I look at what you're saying about Edwin Hernandez and William Hernandez and Maria Escobar, and I'm looking at the things that you're saying, Ms. Vasquez, about your son and about how you feel and what you're learning about them. Our children are constantly watching everything that we do. Everything that we do, day to day, they're looking at us and watching and observing everything that we do. So what I want to do is I want to provide you with some of those things to be mindful of as they're watching you and being mindful of what comes out of our mouths, because they're constantly looking at everything that we do, and we want to be mindful of what we're saying around our children.
Él dice que los niños siempre están mirando a los padres. En esto vamos a hablar, ellos miran todo lo que ustedes hacen, como ustedes están mencionando los nombres de sus estudiantes en el chat, él está diciendo que sus hijos lo miran en todo lo que ustedes hacen. So, él va a platicar un poquito de cosas que tenemos que pensar cuando estamos con nuestros estudiantes, porque pueden ser que ellos están, mirando lo que estamos haciendo.
Puedes escribir en el chat, piensa por favor, escribe qué problemas tiene con sus hijos en la escuela o en la casa. And so if you could write in the chat, what are some of the problems that you're having with your children en la casa o en la escuela también? So escribe o habla también. So you can either write it or you can actually speak it. So some of the problems or some of the struggles that you're having. Okay, I love that. So Marta said that she, pretty much in help. She wants to know, how do you better communicate? How do you better communicate with your children? Great question. Great question. How do you better communicate with your children? So that's a great question. So what I want to show you all, it's una película con Will Smith and su hijo Jaden Smith. I want to show you all a short film of Will Smith and Jaden Smith that really, Marta, really explains a conversation with the father and his son about him observing what's going on with him. We're going to watch this, and then we're going to sort of unpack this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. It'll probably be about as good as I was. That's kind of the way it works, and I was below average. So you'll probably ultimately rank somewhere around there, so really you'll excel at a lot of things, just not this. I don't want you out here shooting this ball around all day and night. All right?
All right.
Good. Hey. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right? You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
Por favor, pueden describir la escena, por favor. Anybody. Can any of you all can you describe the scene, what you just saw? Puede hablar o escribir en el chat también. Can anybody describe what just happened?
Ustedes pueden decir lo que pasó en la película que él enseñó ahora. Lo pueden decir en el chat o si quieren poner raise hand para que yo le ponga unmute.
Anyone? Okay. And you can put it in the chat as well. So when you look at this film, you see a son who has a dream, and the dad attempted to destroy the dream. But what was beautiful about the ending is that the father came back and apologized to his son. Someone once said, be careful that the children are constantly watching you. And one of the strategies that came out of this is that the dad came back and he apologized to his son. He said he was sorry. He apologized to his son.
En la película ustedes vieron que el niño tuvo un sueño, algo que quería hacer y el papá como no creía en él, pero después llegó para atrás y le pidió perdón por eso. Y a veces you said he apologized to his son and
Yep, I'm reading it.
so a veces le podemos pedir perdón a nuestros hijos porque ellos están mirando todos como nosotros reaccionamos.
Okay. All right, I'm seeing, all right, I'm looking at the chat. So Doris cordial, okay, all right, seeing, all right. So ¿puedes entender? Are you all able to understand the film? Were you? So I'm seeing the show of hands, yes, okay. Some people saw it, some people Some people are able to understand it. So one of the things that came out of this film is that not only was there apology, it's a way for our children to see us as human. One of the things that I think one of the counselors just said is that many of the parents have a lot of questions about how to communicate. And one of the parents put in the chat and wanted to know, how do you better communicate? One is to be very open with your children. One is to be a good listener, and the third is to be non-judgmental. So to be open, to be a good listener, and non-judgmental during this time of COVID.
Okay, él dice que nuestros niños lo pueden ver a nosotros como humanos, como dijo la consejera Miss Holmes, que muchos padres están preguntando cómo pueden apoyar. Perdón.
So I'm loving what Lynette said. We're humans. We are perfect, but we are able to learn. All right, there we go. So I'm seeing some chatter. I'm seeing some chatter in the chat. So I'm going back and forth with chat. Thank you, Sharon, for taking the translation. I'm translating in Spanish over here, looking at the chat. Did you finish your thought?
No, I'm sorry, my son came in.
Oh.
Pero él dice que nuestros hijos lo que necesitan ver como humanos, tenemos que ser escuchantes, tenemos que ser abiertos, pero también no juzgarlos.
Okay. So what I want to do next is I want to talk about what does it mean to build un equipo, or a team around your students. You know, this African saying that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And one of the things that your school principal who's here now is attempting to do is helping to build a team around not only just you, but for your children.
So él pregunta qué significa construir un equipo alrededor de sus estudiantes. Hay algo que dicen que es si quiere ir rápido o si quiere ir juntos.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that happened when I was speaking at a school in California, there was a kid named Michael that came, Miguel, his name was Miguel actually. And he came in and I had to meet with his parent because Miguel was getting in a lot of trouble at the school. And so I asked Michael's mother this one question: who is on his team? Who is on his team? And what was sad about this situation, Michael's mother had some challenges personally. And Michael cried right in front of me. He says, "Mom, who is on my team?" And so the reason that I'm connecting basketball and slam dunking to building a team, what we're about to do in real time is build a team around your children. And we're going to talk about what that actually looks like. Go ahead, Sharon, as I prepare for this.
Okay, el doctor Shields trabajó con una escuela, había un estudiante que se llamaba Michael y él estaba teniendo muchos problemas en la escuela y el doctor Shields le preguntó quién está parte del equipo de Michael. Y la mamá tenía muchos problemas personalmente y el niño lloró al frente de ella y preguntó quién es la parte de mi equipo.
All right, first thing. Tiene una pluma o un lápiz también. Escribe el nombre de los niños en la escuela de William Wirt. So write down the names of the children who attend William Wirt School on a sheet of paper. And so what we're going to do, Sharon, is we're going to sort of build a team around each kid. And so each kid at the school, we're going to talk about fans, we're going to talk about coaches, we're going to talk about referees, we're going to talk about the team, okay? All right.
So, si ustedes pueden coger un papel y un lápiz y poner el nombre de los estudiantes de William Word, nosotros vamos aquí a construir un equipo para nuestros estudiantes, ¿ok? So, ese equipo puede ser consejeras, el entrenador de los programas que ellos están, los maestros con quien ustedes piensan que van a ser aparte del equipo.
All right, so before we get started, who has a favorite team? Favorite team. It can be un football de americano, un football. It can be baseball. It can be basketball. What's your favorite team?
¿Cuál es su equipo favorito?
¿Te gusta los Ravens? ¿Te gusta los Yankees? Los Toros in Chicago? Anybody? What's your favorite team? All right, so she wrote Eric's name. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to write down these 4 things. So we're going to talk about our fans, our coaches, our team, and the referees. And each one of these people have a role in your kid's life. So each one of these people have a role in your kid's life. So who are the fans? Who are the coaches? Who's on the team? And who are the referees? So we're going to write that down on a sheet of paper. We're going to get ready for that.
Ok, en el papel vamos a poner quiénes son los entrenadores de sus estudiantes que están aparte de su equipo, también los apoyadores y los referees.
All right, so here we go. So I'm going to start with you, Miss Senora Camacho. How many kids do you have?
1.
What's his name or her name?
Messiah.
Say it again.
Messiah.
Oh, we connected Mosiah and Messiah.
No.
So this is what you would do. ¿Cuántos años tiene?
5.
5. Escribe su nombre en el papel. So you'll write Messiah's name down.
Okay.
All right? Going to walk you through it first. Going to write Messiah's name down on a sheet of paper.
Okay.
And then underneath Messiah's name, yep, you're going to write all of his fans. And all of his fans are the people that support and observe everything that you do.
Okay.
All right, that's the first one. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to put his grandparents. So they're his biggest fans. Los abuelitos.
See?
His aunt.
Todas personas. So I'm going to walk you through it, all right? And then, Sharon, we're going to do it for everybody else.
Okay. So I have his fans as his abuelitos and his tias. So his uncles and aunts and his grandparents are his biggest fans, let me tell you.
So Sharon, what we're about to do is we're going to build a team around Messiah.
Okay.
And just like in real sports, you have fans, coaches, teams, and referees.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about the first one to the group. You want to explain to the families?
Okay, so ahora yo estoy haciendo uno para mi hijo que se llama Messiah y él está preguntando quiénes son sus apoyadores. So aquí yo puse sus abuelitos y sus tías. You explained it in English. So this is who I have. Do I need to like write their names specifically?
You're gonna write their names down.
Okay, writing names. Tengo que escribir los nombres.
Sí, escribe todos los nombres. So you said his abuelitos, you're going to write those names down. Sus tío quién? Tío K, tia Manny, tia Maria. Because what we're going to do at the end is each one of our children who's at William Word, we're going to give them this playbook. We're actually going to give them this playbook of support. So I want to walk you through it first so you know what we're doing. There we go.
Okay, aquí tengo los nombres.
There we go. Such a great student. Entiende todos, familia, entiende. All right, see, I'm seeing some head shaking. There we go. So then, Sharon, after we do the fans, we're gonna then do the coaches and then the team and then the referees.
Okay.
And some of the fans can also be coaches. Some of the coaches can also be teammates, and some of the teammates can also be referees. ¿Entiende?
Ujú. Okay,
Sí.
ahora vamos a ir a ser referees y, oh my gosh, y los entrenadores. Y pueden ser alguien que usted puso, que sea un fan o aficionado o apoyante.
So for my English speaking people that are here, we're asking you who's on your team. And what we're doing is we're building a team around our students, our children at the school. And so if I was at the school, my fans, my support would be Senora Betty Blaze, would be Betty Blaze, and it'll be David Miller. So we're gonna write those names down. And then at the end of this session, we're gonna sit down with our children and explain to them that we built a team around it. All right. DNA, we're going to give them about 10 minutos. So we're going to give them about 10 minutes to complete this. All right.
Esperar 10 minutos para completar esto.
All right. I'm seeing some parents working. Yes, I'm seeing some work getting done. Each one of our children should know who's supporting them at all times. Who is my support? Hay preguntas.
Yeah, they want us to repeat the instructions. Okay. So nosotros estamos construyendo un equipo para nuestros estudiantes, ¿ok? So un equipo es la persona que va a apoyar a su estudiante y también usted como padre. So hay diferentes partes. Empezamos con, oh my gosh, what did we start with? Los apoyadores, los fans. Usted sabe, usted puede ser un fan de Cardi B, de Ricky Martin, usted es fanática, ¿ok? So, ¿quiénes son los fanáticos de su estudiante? Usted va a poner los nombres. Aquí yo puse los abuelitos de mi hijo, que son mis padres, y los padres de mi esposo. Y también puse las tías, que son las hermanas mías y las hermanas de mi esposo. Y ahora vamos a hablar sobre quiénes son el coach, los entrenadores, ¿sabes? Cuando su estudiante está en un equipo de fútbol o de básquetbol, tienen alguien que le enseña. So, eso es un coach. So, usted tiene que poner a quien usted piensa que puede ser un coach, aparte del equipo de sus estudiantes. Y último será coach, un referee. So, normalmente en el juego de fútbol usted ve que los referees se ponen la camisa blanca y negra. Y eso es lo que paran o aseguran que están jugando el juego bien. So, tienes que poner a alguien que usted piensa que sea su equipo de la escuela para su estudiante.
All right. All right, parents, you all are doing great. I'm seeing some writing. All righty, there we go.
And excuse me, Dr. Shields, I just wanted to introduce myself as well. I kind of jumped in.
Hey, who's jumping in?
Miss Ortiz.
Hey,
How
Miss
are you?
Ortiz.
Hola, padre. Solo quería introducirme.
Hola, señora Ortiz.
Soy Miss Ortiz, soy la defensora de estudiantes en la escuela de William Wirt. Yo también soy nueva y estoy aprendiendo todo a la misma vez que los estudiantes. Estoy aquí para apoyar por ellos y para ustedes también. Si en cualquier punto necesitan ayuda a sus hijos con manteniendo su tiempo, sus asignaciones, ayuda por hablar por ellos mismos, eso es cosa que yo ayudo. So, si voy a poner mi correo electrónico en el chat también si me quieren contactar, pero solo quería introducirme. For the parents who speak Spanish, I mean English, sorry, English, the curse of being bilingual. I wanted to introduce myself. I'm the student advocate here at William Wirt Middle School. Actually still pretty new and learned most of my job on virtual learning. So I'm really excited to help the students learn how to advocate for themselves, learn time management skills, as well as learning how to manage their assignments. So if you feel like your students would benefit from any of those things, or if you want to throw some ideas out there, I can put my email in the chat so that you can contact me. But I'm very happy to be here and I'm glad that I made it tonight.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nací en los Estados Unidos. ¿De dónde es? You muted
Sorry,
yourself.
yeah, I couldn't unmute, sorry. Nací aquí. I was born here in Maryland. My family is Puerto Rican though.
Boricua también. Mi abuelo es de Puerto Rico.
Okay, tenemos algo en común.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. All right, parents, how are we doing? Does anybody want to give a report? Do you want to, did you complete this, Sharon? I know you're doing a couple of things at the same time.
Mine would be the same people for.
And sometimes they can be the same people, but go ahead.
So para mí, los referees van a ser las tías. Y para los coaches, can I put his dad?
Sí.
Yeah. Just because I don't know, like the parent, like, you know. And my dad, I would say, for coach, and then his uncles. So para, yo usé las mismas personas para el entrenador y también para el referee. Yo sé los abuelos y los tíos.
So, Sharon, why is this important to you, doing something like this? Explica en español en inglés también.
Well, I think as a parent, you need a team. Like how people say it takes a village, you can't do it on your own. And that's how I've always been raised. With my cousins, my mom raised everyone's kids, but I need my family to support me in this journey as a mother. I don't know everything. I'm always learning. And these are my key people. My son is 5, and I feel like maybe I've sheltered him too much, so I don't really expose him to a lot of people. So maybe I could have added his teachers, but since he just started kindergarten in a virtual space, you know, that connection, we're still, you know, connecting, but I chose my family.
All right, anybody else? ¿Quién quiere hablar? Who wants to talk? Who's on your team?
Looks like Miss Gonzalez raised her hand.
Go ahead.
Wait, where's?
Gloria Gonzalez.
Okay, unmute her.
Gloria Gonzalez.
Okay.
All right.
Hola.
Hola.
Buenas tardes.
Sí, buenas tardes también.
Bueno, sobre lo que estamos haciendo, bueno, para mi hija, yo creo que los coach, empezando por el coach, seríamos los padres, mamá y papá, las tías, tía Dina, tía Miriam, son las que también ayudan a mi hija. Y cuando ella tiene alguna pregunta, alguna tarea que no puede, ella busca a sus tías también. Creo que en los entrenadores siempre seguimos siendo los padres también, mamá y papá, Ignacio y Gloria. Sus fans, para mí pienso que somos los padres también, nos incluimos como sus fans, sus abuelos, sus tías, sus primitos que ella tiene. Y los árbitros, bueno, es lo que yo he entendido de todo lo que estamos haciendo. Será papá y mamá y sus maestros muy importantes también, que son los que ayudan mucho a mi hija.
Gracias,
Pienso que
bravo. ¿Más personas también? Dale, keep going.
no, está bien, hasta ahí, está bien.
Okay,
Gracias.
gracias. Sí, por nada. ¿Quién está en su equipo? ¿Quién está en su equipo? Habla, por favor. Next person. Who's on your team or your son's team?
He raised his hand.
All right, let's go. Next, step up to the mic.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Mohammed. So I'm father of Osnia.
Hey,
I
Mohammed.
make something here. Her teacher, her classmate named Pernion. School referee, probably somebody from school. Siblings, her brother and sister, and parents.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
What grade is your daughter in?
6th grade.
6th grade. Okay, thank you. Somebody else, who's on your team?
Ms. Vasquez raised her hand.
I love all the backup. Miss Vasquez, where is Miss Vasquez? All right, there we go.
Aquí.
Aquí.
Buenas noches a todos. El nombre de mi nena es Linesca Paniagua. El equipo de apoyo, que son los fanáticos, tengo a sus abuelos, su abuelo, el esposo de mi mamá, sus tíos, y el coach, pues yo, su mamá, su papá. En los referees tengo a su abuela y a su abu, sus tíos y sus maestros.
Hay muchas personas. Thank you. Gracias. Bravo, bravo. Next person. Let's go.
Señora Pletes.
Me Pletes, sí. Go, dale.
Hola, buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Pues el equipo de mi hija Yuridia Pleites, los fanáticos son sus tíos de parte pues mía, de su mamá y de su papá, y sus entrenadores es mi esposo y yo también, y los árbitros, pues yo soy la más que está con ella pues todo el tiempo porque mi esposo trabaja. Solamente eso.
Otra persona, por favor. Who's next? Who's next? Anybody? Any hands up?
No more hands up right now.
Okay. How about we get the great principal? She has children. Let's put you on the spot. Miss Emily?
Hola.
Hola, señora. Go.
So I have two sons, Silas and Saxton, and part of my village and my team is, of course, my husband. Definitely the school administrators and my son's teachers. Both of my children were in athletics. My youngest one still plays sports now, so of course his coaches. My parents, my mother is still living and my stepmother is still living. So he has both, two of his grandmothers, both of his grandfathers are deceased. And my lifelong friends that I've had since college who are like aunts and uncles. And so, you know, they continue to be a support to my husband and I as we have no family in this immediate area.
Okay. Miss Emily, why is this important to you? Family, porque es lo importante. So Miss Emily, why is it important to build a team around?
I mean, I think it's just like Ms. Meek said earlier, it takes a village. Definitely, you know, parenting is very difficult in this day and age based upon societal views. And so it's important that you have people who know your expectations, know your morals and your values to speak to that. You know, kids typically listen to others as opposed to their parents. And so, like I said, having someone who understands your, like I said, expectations, speak to those things and also to be a sounding board for them when they don't want to reach out to their parents is very important. And so I have just found that working collectively with my friends and my families on building their character has really helped them become pretty successful young men at this point in time in their lives.
Thank you. Miss Ortiz,
No kidding me.
what role can the school play to be on these families teams? I want you to explain to the parents, because I didn't hear enough of teachers on this list. So what role can the school play to make sure that these kids feel like that somebody's on their team?
There's definitely various things that they can, various resources that we have. I think I couldn't even be able to list them all during this call. But I know that I feel like that's something that's valuable in itself, so a piece of information, the fact that they didn't list teachers. However, I feel like with the programs that we have, the enrichment programs, access to tutoring, we have that as well. We have access to different mental health services. There's so many different resources, the counselors and myself, Mrs. Meeks, and all the administration, we can give parents access to. We just need to know what they need. So if we have, I know Mrs. Meeks can speak more to how parents can request certain resources. However, if students are in need and the parents know what they need, all we need to do is know what it is, and we'll make sure that we find a resource for them. So I can say that in Spanish too. Padres, también quiero decir, él me está preguntando qué podemos hacer para ustedes, que muchos de ustedes no pusieron maestros en su lista o en su equipo. Y queremos saber de los padres también lo que necesitan de la escuela para ayudarle, porque tenemos muchos diferentes recursos y gente para apoyar por ustedes, pero no sabemos exactamente qué son necesidades de fuera de lo básico. So tenemos yo, Mrs. Meeks, tenemos a los consejeros también, que los estudiantes pueden ya mandar mensajes, dejarnos saber lo que necesitan. Y también Mrs. Meeks puede hablar un poquito más de dónde ir para encontrar para poder pedir diferentes recursos de la escuela también. Porque sí lo tenemos, solo necesitamos saber lo que necesitan ustedes.
And Dr. Shields, can I just ask a question? Because it's very interesting that you raised that point. And I guess for me, serving as the principal at William Wirt for the past 5 years, that is something that my team and I really grapple and struggle with, as we have more extracurricular activities, more parent workshops than most schools. And so one of the things that I have constantly shared with parents and polled to get some understanding from them is, where are we going wrong in the communication? Like, why aren't more parents involved in so many of the programs that we have readily available outside of the food distribution? That's probably the most participation we get is when we're giving away food or other resources or items. And we understand the importance of that. However, it's so many, like I said, programs very similar to the one tonight that a lot of parents don't participate in or take advantage of. And so, you know, that is something I guess I would like to hear from parents. Which ways are more effective in communicating with them? Like, what do they need from us? Because it seems to be a disconnect, and has been one for several years.
All right, good question. Kanan, necesita de la escuela de William Wirt, de los profesores, del principal también? What are some things that you all need from the school to better support you and your children?
La directora, ella quiere hacer esta pregunta ya que estamos hablando de esto. Nosotros tenemos muchos programas que traemos a la escuela, pero no sabemos qué estamos haciendo mal en la comunicación, que no tenemos muchos participantes. Lo que vemos es que muchos familias van a recibir a la comida cuando hacemos una distribución de comida, pero no para las charlas de padres o los programas después de la escuela. So ella quiere saber cómo podemos arreglar esto, porque esto es algo que ella ve que es un problema o que queremos mejorar, que tengamos mejor participación en estos programas de padres y también para los programas después de la escuela, porque muchas escuelas en el distrito no tienen las oportunidades que tienen la escuela de William Wirt. So, si alguien quiere platicar. Anyone want to share their thoughts?
Nadie, somebody.
¿O nos pueden decir la forma mejor para contactarle a ustedes? ¿Cómo dar la noticia que estamos haciendo diferentes eventos o tenemos, porque los clubs que tenemos, muchos niños saben de ellos, pero no están participando porque no creen que no lo pueden hacer, y si los padres saben un poquito más de eso, posiblemente lo pueden motivar para hacerlo, pero queremos saber qué sería la forma más fácil para que ustedes todos reciban la información y puedan participar también. Señora Vázquez, y creo que
All right,
señor González
I'm
también.
seeing some hands go up. Okay.
Hello.
There you go. There we go.
Okay. Mi experiencia, hablo de mí, yo entiendo que si llaman a los papás, si me llaman a mi teléfono, yo creo que el mensaje llega más rápido, porque yo para saber qué está pasando en la escuela, tengo que entrar al site de la escuela y no siempre está toda la información actualizada. Y tengo entonces que llamar, por lo menos yo llamo a la escuela. Pero es bueno, por lo menos, por lo menos a mí me gustaría que me llamasen.
Okay. Y esta
comunicación.
¿Y esta charla la recibió por llamada?
Sí, tú me enviaste el.
Okay, good. Okay, so she's saying for her personal experience, she says that she prefers to receive robocalls because she's able to listen to the whole message and kind of understand when we send out something or put it on the website, it's not too detailed or it doesn't have sufficient information, but when it's a call, she can listen to it. And I asked her for this meeting today, how did you find out? And she said through the robocall that I sent her. Bueno, señora González.
¿Sí me escucha? Buenas noches. Bueno, de mi parte estoy agradecida con la escuela, con todo el equipo. Siempre estoy recibiendo llamadas y mensajes de texto. Mi hija va muy bien, tiene excelentes notas y lo único es de que ella no quiere participar en nada extra y quisiera saber cómo puedo hacer yo para hacer que ella quiera involucrarse en algo extra aparte del deber de la escuela.
So she's saying she's very grateful for all the support and all the services that we offer at our school. She said her daughter's doing really well. And she is receiving the text messages and the call, but something she's come across is that her daughter does not want to participate in any activities. And she's like, is there any way that we could encourage her or support her to get her, a part of these programs, if she just doesn't want to, but that's understandable.
Well, Ms. Mix, can you share with Mom what we talked about last week? What we, moving forward, we're really going to utilize that extension, that enrichment period to offer some of our programming as, it has been a challenge, for various reasons, but that could be a way that we can introduce students to different, enrichment opportunities that they may not be aware of, and you never know what interest that may spark.
Okay, so la señora Simley y yo platicamos y estábamos hablando de diferentes soluciones y empezamos a pensar que ahora vamos a tener algunos de estos programas que queríamos tener después de la escuela durante un tiempo que se llama enrichment, que es 11:45 hasta las 12:45, para ver si eso puede ayudar con la participación de nuestros estudiantes, porque entendemos que están cansados de estar al frente de la computadora. And Ms. Perez, Erika.
Hola, buenas noches. Sí, yo referente a lo que decían de la comunicación entre la escuela y los padres, yo estoy de acuerdo en que sea por mensaje de texto. Por lo menos esta reunión el día de hoy, yo la recibí por un mensaje de texto. Entonces, para mí es más fácil que yo entrara a la reunión de esa manera. Porque si se lo dejamos a los niños, bueno, los jóvenes ellos no nos dicen nada a veces. Y como padres, a veces trabajamos de muchas cosas que hacer y no tenemos como el tiempo para meternos a la computadora a chequear la información de la escuela. Solo eso sería, pero yo estoy muy agradecida con la escuela porque casi siempre he recibido todas las notificaciones de lo que hay en la escuela. Gracias.
Gracias. So she said, again, she's very thankful for all the support that we provide and all the services. She did receive this invitation through text message using School Messenger. That's a feature. So she said that was super helpful because she just clicked on it and she was able to join, but she's worked, so she can't jump onto the computer, check the website, but the text message was so good. So we can definitely continue to do that. Gracias. Oh, Sonia. I have one more.
Buenas, mi nombre es Sonia Rodríguez o mi hija es Génesis Rodríguez. Yo tengo un problema con ella porque sí recibo llamadas y mensajes de texto, pero ya las llamadas las recibo ya cuando ya ha terminado el semestre y ella ya no ha hecho trabajos. Y como no, la verdad que no entiendo muy bien los horarios de ella. Yo tengo un niño de 4 años y yo recibo sus horarios y puedo ver a qué hora tiene sus horarios y qué clases. Ya ella, como ya es una preadolescente, siempre estoy pendiente de que está en clase, pero nunca hace los trabajos. Y ya cuando me llaman, ya no, creo que ya ha perdido ya las notas. Por ejemplo, este semestre recibí una llamada y sacó 0 en 4 materias y la verdad que sí me preocupa y he tratado de estar ahí pendiente de que haga sus trabajos presionando, pero es bien difícil.
Okay. So she had a personal situation about her student just not, sharing the information with her about her grades and stuff. So Ms. Ortiz is going to follow up with mom just to make sure that she has all the tools that she needs. La señorita Ortiz va a hablar con usted, señora Rodríguez, para asegurarse que usted tenga toda la información para su estudiante para prevenir eso. So la señora Ortiz le va a escribir privado para recibir su comunicación para hablar con usted después, mañana. Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Shields.
Well, this has been great. Gracias por todos. Thank you for allowing me to be in your space. Thank you for Ms. Simley for, definitely engaging your parents. This is really, really important. One of the things I want to remind all of you all who are here is that this document that you shared, this document that you put together, you really need to share that with your children so they can know who's on their team, who's working with you all. It is a pleasure. I come from a family of African-American Latino roots, and I know sometimes the challenges that our families don't get a lot of the support. So I just want to say a bravo to your school leader for doing that. Thank you, Ms. Camacho, for backing me up. And my new sister over here, Senora Ortiz, as well. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again. All right?
Thank you, Dr. Shields. We appreciate you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gracias, chao. Tengo un buen día. Chao.
Thank you. Oh, gosh. Parents, if you can stay on, we have a raffle. Let me just my presentation on. Padres, si se pueden quedar, tenemos una rifa. Cindy, do you want to open it up for questions?
Well, we could start. If you could just post the flyer, you share your screen so they can see. And
The reopening, 1 second.
and let them know. And no, I'll just translate very briefly.
All right, hold on 1 second. Padres, un segundo, la directora quiere platicar algo con ustedes. Un segundito.
You want me to start with introductions and Ms. Ortiz can translate while you do that? Okay. You ready?
Oh my goodness, sorry. Okay.
All right, so good evening once again. My name is Rhonda Simley and I am the very proud principal here at William Wirt Middle School.
Bienvenidos todos. Ella es la directora Simley, es la orgullosa directora de William Wirt Middle School.
So today, Dr. Golson, our CEO, announced that schools will reopen in the month of April.
Okay, hoy la CEO del distrito de Prince George's Counties anunció que vamos a abrir las escuelas.
Okay, so what we sent out today is a reopening survey for parents to complete to let us know if you are interested in allowing your child or your children to return to in-person learning, or do you prefer to continue with virtual learning? If you did not get it, please make sure can we put it in the chat, Ms. Meeks?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Okay. We will also place the survey in the chat. It needs to be completed by February 28th.
Ok, ella dice que hoy mandamos, no sé si todos lo recibieron, la encuesta. Si usted quieren que sus estudiantes o sus hijos sigan virtual o si quieren que regresen a la escuela. Y también vamos a poner la encuesta en el chat si ya no la recibieron.
So I will just tell you that my school team and I have been spending the past several weeks preparing for the opening of school. We have taken a lot of precautionary measures in order to ensure that our students as well as our staff members are safe. And I will be planning a parent meeting towards the end of the month or maybe the first week of March to review those steps with each and every one of you directly.
Ella dice que ella y su equipo están trabajando para hacer un plan, están caminando a la escuela para asegurarse que tienen todo para apoyar a sus estudiantes en esta transición y también que va a tener una reunión de padres con más información.
However, I can answer a few questions very briefly. I don't want this to turn into the actual parent town hall, but if someone has a few questions in regards to the survey and what the survey is asking, what it means, I can definitely answer those questions at this time.
Ella dice que ella va a coger este tiempo para recibir algunas preguntas, pero no muchas porque no quiere que esta reunión sea la reunión de padres que ella debe de tener con todos, pero sí va a dar tiempo para hacer preguntas. Is it okay if I go to gallery for you? Okay. ¿Alguien tiene preguntas sobre el regreso de la escuela? No questions?
So the survey is in English, Spanish, as well as French. That was a question that was in the chat.
Okay, I'm adding them now.
Okay. While she's doing that, Ms. Ortiz, can you just translate that, please? The survey will be in those 3 languages.
Para que sepan, en el chat, la encuesta va a estar en las 3 idiomas, inglés, francés y español. And just so you guys know, the chat does have things, but this is stuff, I'm writing parents' names down just in case. So it's no questions for you guys specifically.
Oh, there's someone's asking to unmute. Valori Mystic, creo que usted tiene pregunta. Y la encuesta la mandamos por mensaje de texto. Y...
Sí, perdón, una pregunta.
Sí.
Yo recibí el correo, pero fue en inglés. No sé si lo pueda mandar en español.
Okay. She said that she received it in Spanish. I mean, in Spanish, but I made sure that I put in specific language. ¿Usted lo recibió por mensaje de texto o por email?
Por correo electrónico.
¿Y no lo recibió por texto? Lo mandé
también por correo. Sí, también creo por texto, también lo recibí.
En el texto se lo puse en español.
¿Será que me lo puede mandar por mensaje de texto? En español, por favor.
Okay. And we have another. Okay. We're going to continue to send the messages. So vamos a seguir mandando los mensajes. No solamente hoy, van a seguir recibiendo llamadas. So you guys will continue to receive calls. It's going to continue to go through, but we'll make sure that it's in English and Spanish. That's so weird.
Okay. She only got the English version?
Okay, muchas gracias.
Okay, so no questions?
No, I'm pressing unmute.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, good evening to you all. I'm trying to ask because they're saying that if the schools are reopening in April, it will be 2 days in a week.